Did you want to because I know we said we are going to do the ADHD test, the online one. Did you want to do that now, or should we
Oh, I
wait
totally
until
forgot
we
about that.
do? I 100% didn't. I actually have it loaded up, ready to go right now.
Wait until when? What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Wait until we get together again to record a normal show, or do you just
Oh.
want to do it here on the live?
If we do it here on the live, why don't we split this one into 2 episodes?
Oh, I was going to anyways.
Oh, great.
This
Well, then
is
what
the
do you want?
second.
What do you want to
This
do
is
instead? If you don't want to do that,
find something else to talk about. I'm not quite sure.
gotcha. I'm open to whatever. I'm good either way.
Yeah, he's Switzerland there, bro.
Yep.
Let's let's do the let's do the ADHD test
Sure thing.
because I do want to know. Honestly, like I only had the idea for the story about my. Actually, I didn't even have any ideas until my car fucking broke down. So thank you again, Ram, for for giving me something to talk about on my podcast. Really, the final gift. So
And
there was a quiz I shared there in the chat.
which chat did you share it in?
The Podbean one.
Ah, excellent.
I can easily send it to Facebook if that's for you, if that works for you too.
Why is it not working?
I'll just send it. Look at that. Oh, boom! Now it's in Facebook. Look at that. I'm not. If not, what was it? If I figure out how do you phrase it? How do people say that?
I don't know.
If
Not sure what
not,
you're trying to say.
I am. If not, accommodating or some shit like that.
I'm nothing if not accommodating.
Is that what it is? Okay, I'm nothing if not accommodating. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how fucking people from fucking Britain talk.
Yeah.
They're goofy fucking ways. Yeah, dicks. They shit in the
Yep.
streets.
Hey, speaking of it, yesterday as we record was St.Patty's Day, and I made up a little toast for it.
Did you? Do you want to do it? I got some tea
Yeah,
right
sure,
here.
sure. So if this is how it goes. It goes, if you drink to justice. If you fight oppression, and if you fuck the English.
Perfect. Shout out to our listeners over there in Great Britain.
Yep.
You tried.
Yep.
Just not really good at winning them wars, are you?
Yep. Don't do a genocide next time you get the chance, you fucks.
Yeah. Just say no to genocide.
Yeah.
Can we sell that as a shirt?
I'd love that.
Like, do you think we'd be okay with that?
I'm fine with it. I think it's a pretty uncontroversial thing, I would think.
Right. You don't really get many people who are pro genocide.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, I got this pulled up. I think. Are the questions the same? How often do you have difficulty sustaining your attention?
Yes, I think this. I think this one would definitely be. It's. I think it's the other ones where it's like when one goes away, another goes. This is like listed, so I think we'll be fine on this. We need to be able to find a way, and I guess I guess it's going to come down to our amazing sponsors at CarterComics.com to get the machines to make our own shirts. That way, like, we can just list a shit ton of different kind of, when you go to those like fucking booths that like a fair and there's like 100 different designs to choose from and you just pick one out and press it and hand it to you. Something like that. So we can just make our own shirts and we maybe sell them for a better price. Not that TeePublic isn't a great price or a deal.
Right.
But this way we can do it ourselves and we can get different sizes and different styles than the select that they have there. That's the next dream. That is the next one, is for us to make our own merch. So we can sell shirts like "Just Say No to Genocide."
I mean, I am upset right now. I backed a Kickstarter back in 2015.
Yeah.
To get designs to build your own t-shirt press and hat platen.
Yeah.
And I apparently can't access it anymore. It's really disappointing.
They never sent you.
I'm really glad I paid that $12.
Did they never send you your stuff?
No, they sent it, but I don't think I downloaded it because I assumed like it's in my email. I should be able to access it forever.
Oh.
Apparently
Reach out
not.
to them. Just message them. Like, hey, 7
Can't. They
years
don't even.
ago.
They're the original Kickstarter page doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, but you know what they're called. You can just Google them.
I think it was just some random guy.
Oh. Mm.
I am going to Google him though. Now that you said that.
Yeah. Well, he needs to get his shit together.
Yeah.
But okay, so go ahead and read question one, and we'll just alternate back and forth. And forever who's on this live stream, if you need to follow along, the link's right there in the chat. Please go to that link and let's find out together if who has ADHD.
Yeah. You should talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
All
Or
right.
just do what we're doing. Come on now.
Yeah. So
and then go talk to a doctor. Really, I mean, anyone should talk to a doctor after listening to us. It's just
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
How often do you have difficulty sustaining your attention while doing something for work, school, a hobby, or fun activity? For example, remaining focused during lectures, lengthy reading, or conversations. And your choices are never, rarely, sometimes, or often. Now, I pay attention better in a lecture if I have something to read while someone is talking. So I'm going to say often. I really struggle to sustain my attention.
How often do you have difficulty sitting? God, I guess I should put often since I
you didn't even pay attention during the question.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe okay. So this is how I think I have ADHD, because the moment you said how often, I've been focused on the word often because often is a choice. You would think it'd be like, he's like, what is your difficulty sustaining attention to, or something like that. But it's like you throw the word often, it's like, do you really want me to say often because the word often is in there? But how often do you have difficulty staying your attention while doing something for work, school, a hobby, or fun? All right, I'm gonna go sometimes. Because I don't think it's every time. I do believe it's sometimes though. Yeah. I think it's more often than not. How often are you easily distracted by external stimuli, like something in your environment or unrelated thoughts?
Oh God, unrelated thoughts.
See, that's the thing. If they didn't throw unrelated thoughts in there, I'd be like, I never got distracted by a butterfly. I'm gonna go sometimes. I'm gonna go sometimes again. It's not every time because I can have in-depth conversations without my mind wandering. And like I said, I never had a conversation with somebody and got focused on a puppy dog, somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'll go sometimes. It might be a lot sometimes, but I'll be honest. I'm gonna be honest here. So
yeah, I'm going with often again. I mean, there are times. I mean, I can sometimes focus for a really long time and not be distracted by external stimuli. But like, let's say I've gone upstairs to get my coffee mug to pour myself a cup of coffee.
Yes.
I might on my way up there get distracted by there's this piece of mail that's on the stairs. I got to move this to the mail pile. So I'll go move it to the mail pile. And then I'll see something by the mail pile. And all of a sudden I'm eating breakfast instead of getting my coffee. So it's often.
Yeah. See, thinking about it, I know that if I plan on doing something, I'm always going to get that done. Whether it be grabbing something to drink, taking a leak, going to smoke, getting a podcast edited and released and stuff like that. Okay, I think I know there are times where I'll be sitting outside and just having not a conversation that I'm ingrained and involved in, but one that I just don't give a fuck about, but I'm going to show respect to the person to allow them to say what they want to say. Now kind of look at look at that fucking car driving by and shit like that.
Right.
But it's because I'm not even really fully engaged in what I'm doing. I'm just giving the person, just a speck of respect. And I'm not going to be like, okay, don't give a shit, bro, out here, stuff like that. So, but I know there are times where if I'm sitting there talking to somebody, I'll, look at a squirrel or something fucking go by. But it's not because that I'm not focused on what they're doing. It's just I don't care enough to focus solely on it.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
How
often do you avoid, dislike, or are reluctant to engage in tasks that require sustained mental effort or thought? How often do you avoid, dislike, or or are reluctant to engage in tasks that required sustained mental effort or thought. That's a tough one. Because I don't avoid them or
Mhm.
dislike or am I reluctant? But I will like. It doesn't take sustained thought to watch a TV show.
Yeah.
But if a TV show is 25 minutes, I'm much more likely to watch it than if a TV show is 45 minutes because I'm like, I can do 25 minutes over and over again. But 45 minutes is too long. And if I get locked in and I'm watching too many episodes at once,
Mhm.
that's a place where I might often, but I guess I'll say sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have been
I'm,
in a really bad habit lately of writing my sermons at Sunday morning.
uh, I'm saying never. Just for the sheer fact that like I never avoided or disliked anything that took mental thought or mental
Yeah,
effort.
I actually maybe I'll even say rarely because like if I don't know, there are some things I really like that take sustained
Yeah.
mental thought.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I never put myself in a situation to do anything that requires it that I didn't want to do.
Right.
Um, like the closest example I have to of this situation is like doing work at my job that's not my work to begin with, but that's not because it takes mental thought, it's because it's somebody else's job.
Right.
So like I mean I'm reluctant to do I do it, but I'm reluctant to do it because it's like I already did all my shit. Why do I gotta do other people's shit too?
Right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'll do it as a team player, but I'm just like, I just got my shit done. But I never got into a situation where like somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to solve this math problem?" Like, fuck no. I mean, because I play card games and shit to kind of like pass the time and everything, and
Right.
that takes mental thought. And yeah, so I'm gonna say never on this one.
Ah.
I'm stern on my belief. What did you end up with? Did you go rarely or sometimes?
I chose rarely
Gotcha.
because I'm kind of the same way. Like I don't know. I did used to like sleep every day through math class. So I don't know. Maybe I should have said sometimes. Someone should have noticed. Someone should have noticed that I was sleeping through math class and gone, "Hey, just because his grades aren't suffering doesn't mean he doesn't need help."
Yeah.
So pissed.
How often do you have trouble listening to someone, even when they are speaking directly to you, like your mind is somewhere else? See, that's the thing. Like, it's not that I can't focus; it's just I just don't want to.
Right.
So how often do you have trouble listening to somebody, even when they are speaking directly to you, like your mind is somewhere else? So I'm gonna go rarely because it's not that I can't. I just don't want to. But it's just because the lack of interest in what's being talked about. If something's interesting, I'm focused on that.
Right.
But like if somebody wants to, like if somebody's talking to me about like like a shitty fight they had with a couple or an issue they're having at home, stuff like that, I'm focused on that because that's what's important in that time.
Right.
But if somebody is talking to me about like I don't know, like they fucking like they when they ran to the bathroom, the fucking toilet paper thing was out of the fucking dispenser, which reminded them of a time that they fucking went to the bathroom at another fucking museum. I'm just like, yeah, cool, wow, no shit, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care about your toilet problems, bro. I want to fucking get to this next painting. Damn, but
Yeah, I'm gonna say sometimes on this, even though I feel like you and my wife may both say that this is a problem often for me.
I wouldn't think so. No. Here's the
Okay.
thing, though. A lot of our conversations are audio based, not even like indirect. But like I know, like when we're driving, like in the car, like when we're doing the Indiana trip. I mean, I thought you were pretty focused.
Oh yeah, yeah. If we're in person, it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
Um,
Colin. First off, I know Colin has ADHD, but Colin 100% because he was focusing on doing like homework and playing on his phone when we were podcasting.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hundred
But
percent.
I will tell my wife to repeat herself pretty often if she's talking about something. Like it's not that she's talking about something I don't care about. It'll be that she's talking about something that's unrelated to what I'm thinking about or something.
Yeah.
So like if I'm thinking about something and she interrupts it with like something else, I have trouble catching the
Mhm.
thread. And I have to have her repeat myself. I also think I have like just a little bit of an auditory processing problem where it's like sometimes you just got to say what, and then all of a sudden you understood what was said. you know?
Yeah. Maybe, well,
Um,
see, and it's like because maybe a lot of our conversations are about exactly what we're thinking about.
yeah,
You know, like
right,
we're driving around doing cemetery videos. We're thinking about cemetery videos.
right,
You know, we're talking about shrimp. We're doing a podcast. We're talking about my car and stuff.
yeah,
I guess if I was like more like in person with you, I could probably notice it a little bit more. I would go sometimes with you, but
yeah.
definitely not
I'm going with
often.
sometimes. I am sticking with sometimes, but yeah, what I think about the prime example of this to me is I've had a conversation. So I believe our my middle brother, well,
Yeah,
I just say Houston. It doesn't fucking matter.
yeah.
You don't know. No one knows who he is. Us.
Until I start googling
Uh,
them.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of online presence he has.
Cartoon
Um,
Joe's brother, Houston.
right. Um, but I think he has like undiagnosed ADHD, like 100%.
Hmm.
And I have been standing with him in his kitchen having a conversation, and he has been like unable to stop himself from interrupting me because he's not listening to what I'm saying. He's thinking about what he wants to say next. And like
Gotcha.
that is an often situation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not that bad. I'm pretty good at listening and waiting my turn to talk. So
Yes.
going with
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, yeah, you have the ability to wait your turn, except on this podcast when you interrupt me quite often.
Right. Yeah. Well,
You
I
haven't,
can't see your body language.
yeah, you haven't since I called you out on it, but you're good now.
I've gotten really bad about it on Geekcast Live. If you listen to today's episode over at violentpress.com, you'll hear Nick get really pissed at me.
But I
In
think
my
a lot.
defense, I have a little weed vape here that I hit pretty hard when I'm on my on Geekcast Live.
Nice. But I think a lot of that has to do with like the whole interrupting somebody. I think it's because you find more value in what you have to say than what other people are saying.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
again,
And with that, there's four people trying to talk, and
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how you guys record, but I mean with us we don't use video to see each other. We just go straight off audio and everything. So when we start talking over each other, to me it's understandable. It's like, okay, so I don't see when you're about to talk, you don't see when I'm about to talk. But I know there were moments where like I was in like mid thought that you started having a conversation with me. I'm just like, motherfucker, I know you're not doing this on accident. Like, there's no fucking way this is an accident anymore. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if you guys see each other while you're doing it or not, but
Yeah, we
um,
did we did recently start using Zoom so we can see each other, but Nick does it from his car in the garage in the dark, so I cannot see him.
why?
I don't know. I
Uh,
don't know.
Late at night, quiet, don't wake up the family kind of
I
thing.
think that's a big part of it.
Gotcha.
Is it my turn
uh,
or is it your turn?
I'll just go. It's fine.
Okay.
How often do you have difficulty in organizing an activity or task needing to get done? Example, poor time management, fails to meet deadlines, difficulty managing sequential tasks.
Yep.
Also, so for the last one, I put rarely. So
Oh, nice.
I can't remember if I said that or not.
I think you did.
Okay. So for this one, I'm gonna go sometimes. I think when it comes to, I know the biggest thing, which is horrible to fucking say, but I'll say it. I think the biggest thing that I procrastinate on is editing and releasing our shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of that has to do with like, I want to get to bed because, we do, record them in the evenings and stuff. And when we get done at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I just kind of just want to go to fucking bed.
Mm-hmm.
Videos and shit that, like when we did all those cemetery vlogs and everything, I could easily got home and start busting them out and everything, but instead I waited till like 3 weeks before. Um, so I'm gonna say I do it sometimes, but when it comes to like like the things that impact me financially, like my job and stuff, I do try to manage better. Now, the one thing I do need to fucking work on, and I can openly admit this, is that I do leave for work 10 to 15 minutes late every fucking day, which makes me about 5 to 10 minutes late to work every day. I definitely have to work on that. But I think a lot of that factors into winter is just not a good time for me because I just cannot fucking wake up.
Right.
I just can't fucking do it. And like, I wake up late and I'm always like on my fucking like crap. Now I gotta get this shit done and going and got shower, gotta let Cooper out. I gotta fucking go and stuff. So I gotta work on that and I gotta manage better because I am gonna go back to mornings to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's I think that's gonna help me actually get up and get going for work. So waking up at 5:15 instead of 6:15. Granted, I mean working out in the evenings haven't been that bad. I've been enjoying it, but I think if I get up at 5:15, do my workouts and everything, because I just realized I've failed to mention. But when I was talking about my car on the last episode, I realized that I put myself in a situation now where I can't get any fatter because I need to be able to stay fit in my car.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta stay motivated and shit. Um, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go sometimes on this one.
Yeah. This one's an often for me. Everything is of equal importance, and so I have trouble deciding what thing I want to do or need to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, if I have a task that has certain steps, I can figure out the steps and do them.
Yeah.
But if it's like really nebulous, like I don't know where to start exactly, it's really difficult for me to figure it out and get it started. Um, and I've never had poor time management is a new problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just because like I've always like I have found it's so important to be on time, and being on time means being early. That I don't know what has happened in the last month or so, but I have been late all the time. Uh, it just kills me, and I think part of it is like um I there's no reason for me to be on time. I'm not trying to meet people at the church at the times that I am supposed to be scheduled to be there. No one is checking in on that, and no one should be checking in on it. Frankly, it'd be weird if they were. But yeah, and so it's like I'm supposed to be there by noon, but no one is there at noon. So if I get there by 12:15, who cares? Me, I'm the only person who cares. And it has turned into the last like 3 weeks for Bible study on Sunday morning. I've been getting there at like 9:30 when I'm supposed to get there at 9:15. And it was a real problem this last week because it was cold and snowy, and the person who had a key couldn't figure out how the door worked. Which that's not a me being late problem, but it wouldn't have been a problem if I'd been on time. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna say
gotcha.
often.
I gotcha.
How
Your turn, bud.
often how often do you fail to give close attention to details or make careless mistakes in things such as schoolwork, at work, or during other activities? I'm going to say rarely on this. I think it's if something is worth my attention to begin with, I'm going to give it the full attention it needs.
All right, you're gonna have to answer this one for me because I'm gonna give you an answer on what I do, and you got to determine if this is sometimes or often.
Okay.
So when I do something for the first time, I make sure that I pay close attention and everything's done properly. When I do it over time, I almost throw myself into autopilot and I'm like, I know I got this. I know I'm good. I'm sure I did that, you know, and then I
Uh-huh.
just do it. So I don't know if that's sometimes or if that's often because, like I said, like when it comes to work, like obviously when I'm learning something, I'm focused, make sure everything's good, blah blah blah. But when I do it so often, I'm saying, okay, good, 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 send it out
Right.
because I'm sure I got everything done without making sure I got everything done. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm pretty sure everything is perfect. Same thing with making our videos and stuff. Like at the very beginning, like I'm like updating this and doing this. Like, oh, I gotta make an intro to this video. Gotta make sure this is cut out. This is cut out. Now it's just like, oh, drop in the intro, put in the video, cut out the last part, cut out the beginning part, put a fade in here, download, boom, done.
Gotcha. Um, how often does that turn into careless mistakes?
Never.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
gonna
can't
say
say never.
sometimes.
I guess sometimes.
I'll say sometimes then, rather than often.
Okay.
I'm gonna say sometimes because like there's a difference to me in my mind between you paid a lot of attention the first time, knew you could do it
Yeah.
right, and now you're on
Okay.
autopilot.
Yeah, because like I mean, obviously, like when it comes to like our cemetery videos,
Yeah,
like I haven't got anything negative about them. The only thing is like it's like oh it's jumpy. Like fine, let's spend $130 on a fucking selfie stick. Um, you people, but we do appreciate your the downloads and views and everything. And thank you for continuing to subscribe. So many subscriptions are coming in, and I love that. Thank you
that's
guys.
awesome. Thank you so
Um,
much.
yeah, make sure you subscribe to Freakin Studios and check out our amazing videos. Still, Moon Creek most downloaded. Don't understand it. I did get a request though for us to go back to Moon Creek and redo it. So maybe.
Nice.
Um, but like yeah, when I was doing cemetery videos and everything, like at the very beginning, I wanted to make sure everything was good. But then after a while, I'm just like, okay, so all I gotta do is drop this in here, put this in here. But the thing is, like, I know we don't do a lot of shit that requires editing.
Right.
And I could kind of remember what we do. Like when I pull up Boone Cemetery, it's like, okay, I remember Boone Cemetery. We did this, we did all this part and everything. I know it's a little bit longer of a video. There was no trip ups, no mistakes, nobody interfered. There's nothing in it. So all I gotta do is just cut out the very beginning, cut out the ending, just do it a little bit, and then that's it.
Right.
It's like I remember the shit we do, so I know we don't have to go back.
Right.
And yeah, so and then with our podcasts, like we don't edit anyways. Maybe if we have guests, we kind of splice them in and out if they're not at the very beginning or at the very end or whatever.
Right.
But even then, it's just we just got to a point where like, oh, let's call CJ. Boom, now he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, when we get bigger and we finally have interns, there'll probably be more meticulous work done, but it won't be by us.
Right.
How often do you forget to do something you do all the time, such as missing an appointment or paying a bill? This one I will go often, just for the sheer fact that I know there are some times where I wouldn't say I miss credit card payments, but I know that there will always be one that I'm like, oh crap, I gotta put that one, and then it's like always like a day or two before the due date.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always like set all my bills at a certain point, but there's always like one that I miss.
Yep.
Now I don't know if there's like real, I guess kind of relatable to this question if you flip flop it in a way. I'm not sure if that question is going to be following at the bottom. There are times where there are repetitive things I do on a consistent daily basis that I do, but I don't know if I did it.
Right.
And I think the perfect example, I think I talked to you about this, is closing the back door for Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll wake up in the morning, I'll open the door, let him run out, I'll get cleaned up, finish up what I have to do. He'll just come in when he's done. I'll shut the door, lock it, give him a treat, and leave. But when I leave, I don't remember if I shut that back door. Even right now, as we're doing this podcast, I'm wondering, did I shut that door after I let him in before we started doing this?
Right. Next thing you know, you got 5, 6 dogs in your room.
Yeah. So I know I know that I always do it because every time I come home, doors shut, locked, everything's good. Cooper's in the house. So it's like almost the opposite of what this is saying. Like you're doing it, you just don't remember doing it.
Right.
But for this I'm gonna go often because there are times where, like I said, like I'll forget to call somebody back. I'll forget to schedule a bill, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there was one time I forgot that I ordered Grubhub.
Oh damn.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, well,
Shit.
who the
That
fuck's
makes
at
me
my
want to change
door?
mine. Mine is sometimes all my bills are on auto pay, except for literally there was one time I had not yet set up auto pay for a credit card, and so
Yeah.
I was late by like 3 days on that payment. But
Mhm.
because of the way these things work, they were like, hey, it's the first time this happened. It's not going to count against you. Just get your payment in, and it was fine. And I set up auto pay immediately after that. There are times when I'm like, so like for example, I have therapy every Thursday at 4:30.
Mhm.
And there are days that every once in a while I will forget that I have therapy at 4:30, and I don't know if I've forgotten that it's Thursday or if I've there's been like a couple of weeks where I haven't had it because either me or my therapist have had something going on that like has a time slot conflict, and so we just skip a week. Um, but yeah, so I'm going with sometimes on this. There are days where I'll get so caught up in something I'll forget to eat. That feels
Yeah.
like something I do all the time that so I'm going with
Mhm.
sometimes.
Can I ask you a question? Can you tell me if it's an OCD thing or not?
I can try.
Cool. It probably won't be, but in my mind, I don't know why I fucking do it, but so the only reason I don't set my credit cards up for auto pay is because I always want to pay what as much as I can,
Mm,
on it. Um, but so let's say I have a credit card bill of $897.48,
mm-hmm.
and my minimum payment is $80.
Right.
I would do the 97.48 because after the payment, I want that to be fucking even.
Oh, interesting.
Um, if I had a bill, let's say it was $1,037.22, and my minimum payment was 50, my payment I would make would be $57.38 because I always want it to be 0.00 at the end of whatever the fuck it is.
Gotcha.
Now, obviously, it doesn't last because once the interest and everything hits, it just goes back to a random fucking number. But then
Right.
I always pay the minimum payment plus whatever I need to get that to 0.00.
Gotcha. It might be compulsive behavior. Is it like if you didn't do it, would it just bother you, or would it like uh cause you to spiral into like a belief that the world is going to end?
No, nothing like that. I mean, because there are times where, like, if I don't have a great month, then I just pay whatever the minimum payment is, and we're done.
Gotcha.
Or if I'm like rushing because I'm like, oh crap, fucking, I gotta pay this bill. I just go to the app, go to pay minimum payment, pay today, and be done. No, just like if I plan ahead and everything, I was like, oh, okay, so this is now $47.22. Now this one is like, oh, I had a good month, so I'm gonna pay $108.12 instead of the 80.
Yeah. Does it like
So
make you anxious to not have the it be 00, or
no,
is it
just
just like it just
in my
bothers you?
in my mind, it makes me feel proud that I'm paying even $2.08 extra.
Gotcha. Nice.
It's
Yeah,
just
I don't know. I don't think
yeah.
it might be compulsive, but
Okay.
it's not. I don't think it's obsessive compulsive.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Next question is yours, bud.
How often do you? Oh Jesus! How often do you lose, misplace, or damage something that's necessary in order to get things done? I have lost my phone while talking on it. I'm going often for me. I lose things all the time.
I'm gonna go sometimes. Now I know there are moments, and it's again, this is a horrible thing for me to say, but I rarely ever take my contacts out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there are times where I can't remember the last place I put my glasses and shit. I never have an issue with wallet or keys because my wallet or keys are always in the basket on the table in my living room. Anytime I'm not outside the house. If I'm in the house, they always go there, so I know I don't misplace them.
Oh, that's
I
so
don't
good.
really, I don't really lose my phone or anything, but yeah, I always make sure there's a place for my shit. So as soon as I walk through the door, I lock the door, keys, wallet, they go right in the fucking basket. Phones are either always in my pocket or on the end table or nightstand with me and shit like that. But there are times where I will lose glasses or I can't remember where I put a piece of paper down, but it's very I don't want. I'm going to change it to rarely because I was about to say it's very rarely for me to lose anything.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
I
so
um I have specific pockets I put my keys in,
yeah.
and if I don't put them in the right pocket because I'm not thinking about it, it will take me forever to find them.
When I leave in the morning, I always do a pat down before I leave
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I have everything. So wallet in back left pocket, work phone in front left pocket, smokes in front right pocket, keys in chain right pocket, the little change pocket thing, keys stuck in there, personal phone back right pocket. As long as I tap on every fucking pocket and I feel what I need to feel, I can leave the door.
Nice.
And the same thing when I come into the house, same pockets,
Yep.
right, left, back, front. As long as they're all full, I know that I can walk into my house. I don't have to go back to my car.
Nice. Yeah, I will I have one of those like magnetic things you just put your phone on and while you're driving. And I
Yeah.
have forgotten my phone in my car so many fucking times. Oh my God, I hate it. I get inside, I go to check like my messages or Twitter or whatever, and got to walk all the way back out to my car, which you haven't been to my new place yet, right?
Nah, not yet.
W- I am a block from the street basically because of the way the complex that we're in is set up. And so I got to walk all the way to the back to the street, and then sometimes we're not parked like immediately at the end of the sidewalk. Sometimes because there's so many cars and nobody takes public transit anymore, I got to walk like another block down to where we're parked. Oh, it sucks. Oh God, I hate it. My turn.
Yes, yeah. How many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 or about 10 or 11, maybe 12 more questions, and we got
Oh yeah,
12 minutes to do it.
gotcha. So speed round. How often do you have trouble following through on instructions or failing to finish schoolwork, chores, or duties in the workplace? Uh, as an example, you start a task but quickly lose focus and are easily sidetracked. I actually should probably say often because, especially with how easy it is to get on Twitter or Facebook, I can very easily like start something, Facebook, start something, Twitter, start something, Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, back to thing. So often.
I'm gonna go rarely, because I always, if I start something, I just want to get it done, so I don't have to worry about it later. Even if I'm doing the editing and stuff like that, as soon as I sit down, I got my drink, I got a snack. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna get this video edited. As it's downloading, I'll go do something else. Come back and check on it in a little bit. So I'll do rarely.
Nice.
How often are you unable to play or engage in a leisurely activity quietly? How I'm able to play in the game? I'm gonna say never. I don't think I've ever had an issue to do anything like that.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say rarely, just because I know. So like 90% of the time, I'm reading. That's my leisurely activity, or I'm watching
Yeah.
a show. Every once in a while, I will react to something that I'm reading or watching, and that can be loud, but not like it's not like loud, loud. So I don't know. Rarely is what I'm going with.
Okay.
It's just not quiet. Yeah. How often do you have difficulty waiting your turn, such as waiting in line? Man, rarely. I'm very patient.
Okay. Difficulty. I'll say rarely. I don't really ever have a problem waiting. If I am impatient, it's because of my own tardiness. And I mean, obviously, you get some times where some people are up there, like, and they're not quite sure what they want to order and stuff like that. They do get annoying, but I never like honk or yell and shit like that. So I'll go rarely.
Nice.
How often do you feel like you're on the go, acting as if you're driven by a motor? Example, you're unable to be or uncomfortable being still for an extended period of time, such as in a restaurant or a meeting. I'm gonna go rarely. I got no problem just lounging around, sitting there, getting shit done. I mean, if I'm in a meeting, it means I'm getting fucking paid, or I'm doing a podcast I enjoy fucking doing. But
Right.
I never find myself being antsy or needing to fucking get up and go and shit.
Yeah. I'm very fidgety, but I don't think that's the same thing. And I'll just shift in my seat. I'm fine with that. So I'm gonna say rarely as well.
Okay.
How often do you leave your seat in situations when remaining seated is expected? Uh, I'm not in those situations very often anymore, so I'll say sometimes, but like I don't leave my seat unless I need to. You?
I'm gonna go never. If I'm seated, I'm seated. If I'm not, I'm not. I don't need to. Yeah, I'm gonna go never. Plus, I like sitting. I'm good with sitting. I prefer to sit than stand.
Yeah.
I don't. I know I'm a powerful guy. I don't need to show that powerful dominance by standing over somebody like a
Right.
douche. How often do you blurt out an answer before a question has been completed, e.g., completing another person's sentence or can't wait your turn in conversation? I'm gonna go often because not for the sense that no, that's a lie. Uh, I I just feel like I want them to get their point out so they can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go off, and it's not that I can't wait my turn in a conversation. It's that I am trying to guess what somebody is saying, and they are talking just a little bit too slow. And I'm just like, is this what you're saying? Because I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It only happens with people I know well, I guess is what I should say. So I'm saying often though. How often do you feel restless, like you want to go out and do something? That's a sometimes for me. It drives me crazy that I have become a homebody over the last few years.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sometimes too. I would love to get out and do more things. It's not a dire need to like, God, I gotta get out of the fucking house, but like, I would like to get out and do more. But I'd like to go out and do more with people, not like myself. You know, I'm not a coffee shop by myself kind of guy, but like, I would love to go grab a beer or dinner or something with more friends. Like, I wish that was an option.
Yeah.
I just gotta make more friends.
Mhm.
How often do you fidget with or tap your hands or feet or squirm in your seat? God, they mean to fucking rhyme.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna go sometimes. I know there are times where like I'll like tap my thumb if I'm at like the keyboard or like my leg will kind of bounce and shit.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of a restlessness. So yeah, I'll go sometimes. No, I'm gonna go often because it does happen a lot.
Right. All the goddamn time isn't an option, so I'm going to say often. How often do you find yourself talking excessively? So this one wasn't. I'm changing. It's a sometimes now. It used to be a rarely or a never. But I don't. I'm a very extroverted person, and I don't see people ever. And so, like, I will talk my wife's ear off on the way home from work. So sometimes,
Okay, cool.
yeah, got to get a day's worth of talking in.
um, find yourself talking excessively. I'm gonna go sometimes, but it only occurs if I'm in conversation with people I like.
Yeah.
If I'm in a conversation with somebody that I don't care about or I don't care about what they're talking about, I'll kind of give them the oh yeah, huh, yeah, okay, yeah, kind of like response. Or, I just kind of just keep to myself and let them talk. But if I'm in a conversation with somebody, then yeah, I definitely get more involved in it.
Yeah.
How often do you interrupt or intrude others, such as butting into their conversation or taking over what others are doing? Um, I'm gonna go rarely. There are times if somebody's having a conversation around me and they ask a question I didn't know the answer to, I'll respond to it. But I never get involved in other people's shit unless asked.
Yeah. I'm also going to say rarely. I will if my wife is like on the phone with her grandparents or something. I'll chime in if it's about me. But that's the only time. I am a little bit too shy, despite my extroversion, to butt into other people's conversations if I don't know them or whatever. So
Okay.
going with rarely. Were several of the symptoms present prior to age 12? I do not remember my life before I was 10.
Mhm.
So I don't know how to answer this question. So I'm going to say no, and hope that the results still match the fact that I have been diagnosed with ADHD.
I'm gonna say no. I don't recall having these like fidgety fucking feelings and stuff beforehand. Even though the only earliest recollection I have are like one or two things when I was like maybe 6 or 7, and maybe a handful of things when I was like 10 or 11. But I'm gonna say no. I'd laugh if the entire time only these last two questions matter.
I know.
Do the symptoms appear in or at least two or more settings, home and school? Yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess I say home and work instead of home and school, but home and work. But I mean, at the bar too, I'll fight. The biggest thing for me that happens everywhere is the bouncing of the leg or the tapping of my thumbs and shit.
Right.
So I'll say yes.
Yeah. I'm also saying yes. It doesn't matter if I'm home, at work. When I was in school, yeah, I do all the things everywhere I am.
Okay. Cool. I scored a 29 out of a 58, which I am attention deficit disorder possible.
Nice. Nice. I'm a 39 out of 58, and that's also a possible. But you'll
You
notice
just
that
meant the
likely
cutoff.
starts at 40. So,
Yeah. So just right there. So all right. I want to go back one day. I'm just gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna go back one day and try to answer it to the point where you get like a true zero, which I'm guessing is all nevers.
yeah, I think it's mostly nevers.
So Awesome, cool. So I possibly have attention deficit disorder. So I learned nothing.
Yep.
I thought it was more of an in-depth result kind of answer,
Yeah.
but
Unfortunately.
I do love the fact that these quizzes are here. So I would love to do more of these, especially like like the depression one, the bipolar one,
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
stuff like that, the anxiety one. I would love to do more of those. So we'll definitely check it out and everything. But we're gonna wrap up the live here, Joe. We got through it. You know,
Nice.
2 hours of fun filled Saturday morning together.
Mm-hmm.
What are you freaking thinking about though?
What am I freaking thinking about? I am freaking thinking about probably the Last of Us finale. I really enjoyed that show all the way through. I cannot wait for the second season. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my Sunday nights anymore. So yeah, The Last of Us.
Okay.
How about you?
Uh, my car, honestly.
Oh yeah, of course.
I when I bought it yesterday, it was like I went there in the middle of the afternoon. I finally got to own it, maybe around 4 o'clock yesterday,
Nice.
and I only drove for a little bit. Then I came home, put some stuff back into my car that I had in my truck, and I was like, I could go joyride, but like I was just drained from the day just to begin with. But when we wrap up here, I am gonna take a little drive. I gotta go back to the dealership and drop off the title to my truck that I gave that I traded in and stuff, and drive it a little bit longer and get more of a feel for it and everything. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this car. And I got the wrestling show today, which I gotta be there early because I gotta kind of help set up some matches and stuff like that. So busy weekend, but a fun weekend.
Nice.
So Joe, I appreciate you doing the lives with me. It's always fun, and I hope our listeners enjoy them. And hopefully, it gives them an opportunity to realize that when we do this, that they should come and be involved in everything. And I know this live was a little bit different than the last because this one wasn't really advertised, and that's on me. And I'll make sure to do better for the future on that. But make sure you do find our shows on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter just by searching This Freaking Show. And of course, you can find us on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you find your podcast. So that's everything, guys. Anything to add, Joe?
No. If you want to listen to more of me, 2 hours isn't
Yeah.
enough. Find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect. Guys, I am Travis,
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
and thank you for listening to the live stream of This Freaking Show. We out. Joe, I'll talk to you later. Love you.
Yep. Love you. Bye.
Bye.